morning, lovelies. So this is a little bit of a different video than what I usually do. We are over at my sewing station. It's a dining room table with a cutting mat on it and my sewing machine and my dress. But last time I went to Goodwill, I found some fabric that wasn't really fabric. It's a duvet cover. It's a twin side duvet cover, but it is 60 inches wide. And it is like 2 yards long. One-sided. So that's 4 to 6 yards of material depending on how you work it. So this duvet cover is white. And well, as you can see in the background, I have made a white dress. I don't really like having white separates unless it's a blouse, and that's just not really my thing right now. So I made the decision to buy 2 of them because it is white cotton. Cotton can be dyed. So I have the fabric right here, and after I dye it, which is what this video is. This is an introduction video to this project as well as me attempting to dye this fabric. But after I dye this, I'm going to make a 1940s inspired suit with a bolero jacket and a nice like half circle skirt and a blouse to go with it. So I have written out my instructions on how to dye it, and I have bought this dye. It's Ritz black dye, and I picked the blackest black. There's like a gray black and there's a black. And yes, I have written out all the instructions. I have 3 bottles of dye because I'm also going to re-dye one of my black skirts that has faded down to a black gray, and I like black when I have black. As you can see, I like black. The blouse I'm going to do is a pin-tucked variety, so therefore I did not get any fabric that had a pattern to it. Instead, I went and got this fabric. It is 2 yards of a cotton poplin that is like a sage-ish green, and I think it'll look nice. It's going to have pin tucks down the front, button down the back, and all that good jazz. But while this is an introduction part of the video, rest of the video will be done today. I will edit it today. Like, you will see the final product before the end of the night, but you will also see me, I will be talking to you in between steps. Like, you will have the sped up camera action of me like unloading and reloading all that, because I am doing this in the washer. I don't have a tub big enough to do it otherwise that isn't being used for storage at the moment. So I'm going to be doing this in the washer. Afterwards, I will be cleaning it. It needs to be cleaned anyway. I've done a vinegar clean, but it probably needs to be cleaned with like bleach. So that is my plan for today. Yes, I am nervous. Yes, I do need to pre-wash this material, which is what I'm going to do next. I'm just going to load it in the washer and wash it to get it wet. And then I will, just take it step by step. I will do my best to talk to you about what step I'm doing and see how it turns out at the end of the video. If you can't tell, I am nervous, but that is what it is. But yes, so the first step I'm going to start with is just washing the material. I have made the decision not to rip apart the seams just yet. I'm going to wait till after I've dyed the fabric so that it has no unfinished seams that will unravel in the washer. But yes. While I am dyeing, I may cut out the blouse and maybe get that started. I have... If not, I can use... I will need to do some kind of seamage for the front because it is pin tucked. Oh, the pattern I'm going to be using for all this is Simplicity 8462, and I will need to make some alterations to the skirt. I'll need to since I originally cut the skirt like 3 or 4 years ago, I have grown in the waistline. Other part of the project, I do have polyester lining already cut out because I had to make sure I had enough for another project. But when I do the skirt, I will be using this metal zipper. It is a vintage 1960s metal zipper, and it is a 7-inch long metal zipper, and this is kind of the first metal zipper I'm using, so that's another thing that is making me a little nervous. But all of this project will be kind of new to me. This is a pattern I've used before, but I've only used the skirt from it before. So at the end of this, it's going to be like a 4-week project, at least video-wise. So the first part is this part, which is dyeing the fabric. The second part is probably the blouse. The third, so that if I mess up on the dyeing, I can re-dye it using another method. Then the third part will probably be the skirt, and then the last part will be the bolero jacket. I have yet to decide if I'm going to put any trim on it, like ribbon or lace or any of that. I've looked at some extant examples, and 1940s there was a lot of rationing, but some of them do have ribbons and trims on them. And also this is vintage inspired and not true vintage, so well, I can do what I want. This is my wardrobe. So I may end up going through and putting some black satin ribbon on the jacket, depending on how it turns out. I may also do like a contrasting color. I have yet to decide that because I want to make the jacket first and see how it looks just plain. I think that's all for this step. I will video myself loading up the washer and starting the pre-wash because the fabric needs to be wet first, and I'd rather just pre-wash it and get it all wet and do that step now. I do have to also, I think that's the only step I need to do. Yeah, I'll talk to you later about the other steps I'm doing and how it all goes down, but I am going to do the best I can. I am going to wear gloves when I move the fabric around after I've started the dyeing process so that it all stays together. So I will see you in a little bit after I've pre-washed my material. Bye! Okay. I have the fabric in the washing machine. It's been in there for about 25 minutes, and I just checked it. It is getting black. I won't know how it's fully turned out until after I've put the fixer in and all that, but so far it's looking good. I'm supposed to leave it in for an hour and not mess with it unless like it's moving the fabric around so that all of it gets in the dye bath, because fabric creates air pockets and air pockets like to rise. So that's what I was just doing, which is why I opened the machine. But it is on the soak cycle right now, and that will allow the water to sit, and I will be cleaning this machine afterwards with bleach and water. But right now it just needs to sit for an hour, and once that's done, then I think the next step is to drain it and then remove the fabric and then put the fixer on, which is again putting hot water in it, putting the fixer in it, and then putting the fabric back in, which means holding the little flap thing so it won't fill up while I watch. But that's what I'm going to deal with in an hour. Right now I'm going to take a break and drink some coffee. I have cut out my blouse. I will probably work on that a little bit here this evening, maybe. I'm unsure at the moment. I do need to cut out the interfacing for it, so I might do that instead while I'm working on the dye. But so far, the dye is working. I hope it turns out really nice. I do have a skirt in there that is also dyeing because it was turning like gray instead of black, and I like having my black skirt. It's just a plain black. It's just a plain black skirt. But this skirt I'm going to make is the same design, but it's in this fabric, so it will have on the sides it will have a herringbone effect, and it will be slightly different. So here's hoping that it turns out well. So far it is. I think this fabric is 100% cotton. If not, it's a cotton blend like my other skirt, so yes. I will talk to you all later, as in later today. In about an hour you will see what else I'm doing. Bye. right? Third update. So the fabric is black. I have it in the fixture right now. It is still filling up. When it's done filling up, I will go and mess around with it some more. It's, fingers crossed, gonna stay black. It is black, which I'm really happy about because it started out white, and I want black. So after this, after it's finished sitting in the fixture for 45 minutes to an hour, then I will do a rinse spin of it, and then do a fluff dry, and then I will wash the fabrics, simply to make sure that all the excess dye is off them. I think that's what I'm supposed to do. Anyway, here, let me check the instructions, because I have the instructions on here. Color fast fixture. Basically what I'm doing right now is making sure this dye stays in the dye and it doesn't bleed all over my clothes. Fingers crossed. I will say this is a great way to make sure that your fabric stays the color you want it to. Because in the past I've had colors not do what they're supposed to do. Okay, I am doing the washing machine. Okay, place items in washing machine, temperature, top loader. Hottest water setting. Okay, I've filled it up. Okay, I've poured in the color fixture to the machine. The items in. Once the cycle is complete, wash in warm water with mild detergent, rinse and dry. Clean machine. Okay, so after this I need to wash it on a warm setting to make sure that it's not going to bleed on me with a mild detergent, and then I need to clean out the machine with bleach. So basically that's just putting it on hot water and putting a cup of bleach in and letting it run on clean cycle. So yes, I am kind of excited. This again is my first time dyeing my own fabrics. I will show you the product probably tomorrow since it's already 4 o'clock. This does take a while. Yes, I'm just gonna let that sit. It sits for 45 minutes to an hour on its own when you put it on soak cycle, the machine. So I'm just gonna let that sit until it's done, and then I'm gonna put it on a low setting, put it on warm, and then wash it with a small amount of detergent without OxiClean so that it doesn't, you know, purify it too much. And then it should be done. Kind of excited. And horribly nervous. But it did come out black. When I looked at the fabric itself, it didn't look like it was, it wrinkled too much. I think I pushed it around enough to make sure all the spots got black. There weren't any spots that were still white. So, fingers crossed it goes well. So I will see you all in a little while for you, and about an hour for me. Alright, so it's the next day, and things happened last night. I got the fabric rinsed in the fixing material, fixing bath, and then I followed the instructions and washed it. Unfortunately, I made a little bit of a critical error. I had assumed that the duvet was 100% cotton. It's a polycotton mix, so therefore, instead of turning out black like I hoped, it turned out like this. It is gray-black. That is not what I wanted. So I came to the decision last night that after doing a little bit of research, I was not going to try and find a way to make this black because to dye polyester you have to do it in a tub. You can't do it in a washing machine, and I don't have a tub big enough that I'm willing to drag out and fill with hot water and dye. So this has now been relegated to costuming petticoat material, which is actually kind of good because I've got like 3 projects I want to do that requires some kind of material underneath. It'll just depend on which one I decide to do first. This may end up becoming a Regency petticoat, or with how stiff this material is, it may become a 1950s petticoat. It may become a 18th century petticoat. It just depends on what ends up happening. So technically it was a failure, but hey, it worked-ish. The skirt I dyed, if you remember what it looked like last time, and it is now back to black. So that makes me happy, but it was a learning experience. Here's the swatch I did of a scrap piece I had from making that dress. It is, as you can see, that's how I was able to tell it had some polyester in it. But this is okay. It was a learning experience. At least it wasn't a very expensive piece of fabric I was trying to dye. So I will take this as what it is. It is now 4 yards of a gray things. So yes, I hope you enjoyed watching me take a giant belly flop. I'm actually kind of proud that I tried this experiment. It may have not turned out the way I hoped it would, but at least I tried, even if I did do a giant belly flop. So I think I'll wrap it up here. I need to console myself with more lemonade and probably think about making some food. So I am going to buy some fabric to make this suit with because I still want to make it. I do still have the blouse material, so I will put that together in the next couple days, as well as another project I have the materials for. So I just have to keep my eyes out for some kind of material that I can use to make another skirt and a bolero. It just has to go with the green material that I have. But that leaves the door open wide to any type of fabric I want to do. So I hope you all enjoyed. I would appreciate likes, comments, and subscribes. I am trying to grow my channel, which is harder than it seems. And I will see you all next time.